left Laban and he'd returned to Esau. We talked about how they reunited as a family and how that was a happy time for them. Boys and girls, how'd you do this last week? Did you sow good behavior and reap good behavior? I sure hope so. Well, Jacob grows up. Okay, he's already a man, but he's getting older. He has sons and daughters, but he has one son who is very special to him, and that son is Joseph. And that is because Joseph is the son of Rachel. Remember, he had Leah and he had Rachel for wives. Rachel was the one that he loved. Leah was the one that he got tricked into marrying. Well, when Rachel has a boy, Joseph, Jacob just loves Joseph so much, and he treats him so much better than the other brothers. Oh no. Yeah, my first thought when I read that or think about that is teacher's pet. How many of you know who the pet is in your classroom? Peter knows. You know what, boys and girls, oftentimes, believe it or not, it's because you reap what you sow. A lot of times it can be because that child is well behaved and the teacher knows they can trust them. Right, Peter, you're the teacher's pet. Good thing there's only one of you in here. Now, not always, and teachers have to be cautious of that. But if you can kind of relate to that scenario, though, that's how the brothers felt. They're like, wait, what? He's so special. Well, Jacob loved him so much, he made a special coat for Joseph. He made a coat of many colors. It was a beautiful coat. It wasn't all one color. It was made of many colors. It was perfect, and Joseph loved this coat. Well, the brothers were jealous of that. They're like, how come he gets to be treated better? How come he gets the nice clothes? Well, Joseph doesn't really help with the situation when Joseph tells about 2 dreams that he had. So Joseph wakes up one morning, stretches, goes to breakfast with his family, and he's like, you guys gotta hear the dream I had last night. They're like, yeah, whatever. Who wants to listen to you? And they're sitting around the breakfast table, and he's like, we were working out in the field, and we were binding sheaves. Okay, so basically think of stalks of grain, wheat, barley, sheaves. Okay, they were, and they were binding them. They were tying them, bamboo. They were tying them up. And he said, when we were doing that, mine stood straight and tall. Do you know what yours did? And he starts to kind of point out to his brothers. He said, and all of your stalks bowed down to mine. And the brothers are sitting there like, who do you think you are? You're younger than us. Why do you think you're so powerful? Remember, they're already jealous of him. They are not happy to hear about this dream. And so Joseph goes on to tell him, and even Jacob isn't too pleased to hear about this dream. But Jacob knows that God has a special plan for Joseph. Well, then Joseph goes on to tell them about another dream that he has. He says that there are 11 stars for his brothers, the sun, the moon, and they bow down to Joseph. And the brothers are like, there is no way we are bowing down to you. No way that we are going to worship you. You have got to be out of your mind to think that we're going to bow down to you. And they basically think he's crazy. They start calling him the dreamer, and they're making fun of him for his dreams and for the fact that Jacob treats him so well. Well, one day, Jacob's other sons had gone off to take care of the sheep. When you think about sheep, they have to have somewhere to eat. They have to have grass, and they eat all the grass in one area, and they have to keep traveling from area to area to give the sheep a new pasture, a new place to eat food, grass. Well, they're traveling, and Jacob goes, Joseph, I think you should go check on them. They've been gone a while. I'm not so sure about what's going on. Why don't you go check on them? So Joseph goes, he's going to check on them, and he's traveling, and he gets to the place where they should be, and he can't find them. It's kind of hard to lose a bunch of sheep and 11 brothers. So he travels, he runs into somebody, as in talks to, meets up with somebody who tells him where he can find his brothers. So he starts walking there and the brothers see him coming. They're like, oh, here comes that dreamer. Oh, here comes Joseph, probably to tell us another dream. And they spy him coming and they're like, let's just kill him. Let's just be done with him. Yep, I know, right? Right, Peter? That seems a little harsh, doesn't it, boys and girls? I hope your brothers have never really thought that about you. But they're planning to kill him. And Reuben, the oldest, is like, wait a minute, guys. We can't just kill him. Like, that's not right. He's still our brother. Let's just throw him in this pit, this well that was there, that was dried up. And they're going to throw him into the well. Well, Joseph comes walking up like, hey, guys. His brothers grab him, tear his coat of many colors off, throw him in the pit. And he's like, whoa, what has just happened? He is shocked. He's like, wait, what? He knows his brothers don't like him. And he's hollering. He's like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. And he doesn't understand what's just happened. And he sits there. And the brothers, Reuben goes off somewhere. The Bible doesn't tell us where he went. And the other brothers are sitting there. And they see some camels coming. And that's the Midianites. They're traveling by. And think of them like a traveling salesman. Okay, so they're traveling by and they're like, hey, we got an idea. Why don't we sell our brother rather than just kill him and leave him here? Why don't we sell him? We can make some money off of him. Now, I'm sure at some point you've joked about selling a sibling or your parents have joked about selling you. The usual joke is we'd have to pay somebody to take you, not that we could sell you, but we know those jokes go around. But this was happening for real for Joseph. His brothers were going to sell him. And so the Midianites came up and they're like, well, what will you give us? And they go back and forth with the Midianites and figure out that they can sell Joseph to them. So they pull Joseph out of the hole. They pull him up and they decide that they're going to sell him to the Midianites. And Joseph's like, wait. What's going on? He doesn't understand. He doesn't comprehend what his brothers are doing to him. So they sold him to the Midianites and they travel on. And the Midianites are taking him to the country of Egypt, which is where we will pick up next week with that. But we got to talk about the brothers a little bit longer. So Reuben comes back and he looks in the well and he's like, where's Joseph? What did you guys do with Joseph? Where is he? And the brothers tell Reuben that they sold him to the Midianites for the number was 20 of their money they had sold Joseph for. And so Reuben's like, what did you do that for? Our father's going to be miserable. Our father's going to be sad. And they're like, well, we made money off of him. It was better than killing him. And so they decide, they plot, they make a scheme, they plan that they're basically going to make their dad think that Joseph is dead. They take and kill an animal. They take the blood of that animal. They dip it all over the coat because remember they'd taken Joseph's coat of many colors. They dipped that in the blood and then they took that coat home to their dad. And their dad grieved and mourned and was sorrowful. Their dad basically said, I'm going to grieve for the rest of my life because I have lost Joseph. Bible tells us that not a single one of the brothers or sisters were able to comfort Jacob. He was so distraught about what had happened. Well, boys and girls, we'll pick up next week with what's going to happen to Joseph in Egypt, but God had a plan. God had a plan to work all things together for good. It doesn't seem like it. Joseph doesn't understand why he had to be thrown in a pit, why he had to go to Egypt, and he's going to have to suffer through a lot more things, boys and girls. But how about you? How are you treating your brothers and sisters? I'm guessing you haven't thrown them in a pit. Maybe you whitewashed them in the snow, but you probably haven't thrown them in a pit. You probably didn't feed them to wild animals. Maybe your dog. No, I'm just kidding. You probably didn't sell them to anybody in the neighborhood. But are you treating your brothers and sisters kindly? Are you being kind? Are you showing respect? Are you being helpful? What can you do this week, boys and girls, to treat your brothers and sisters kinder than you did last week? Maybe you're an only child and you say, I got that one made. I don't have any brothers or sisters. What about your classmates, your friends, your cousins, the people you encounter? Boys and girls, I hope you treat those around you kindly. Have a good week. See you